Today we're going to start the project of removing this brake master cylinder and replacing it with our new one here. So this one is technically used. I'm sure it came off of a wrecked car, but it's in much better condition than the one that I have now. If you want to see here, I do have some cracks. They don't go all the way through, but it's only a matter of time before this thing gives out anyway. So I figure we just go ahead and replace it. Plus the fluid is disgusting. Take a look in here. It's basically pitch black. You can even kind of waft a smell from it. It smells really, really burnt and just disgusting. We're gonna be replacing that, and we will also be bleeding the brakes out. Actually, we're gonna bleed the brake lines and just get some new fluid in the system. I'm gonna go ahead and take the wheels off all four sides. That's the reason we have the car in the air. Plus I'm gonna go ahead and fix my rotors, but that's for a whole nother day. This is actually a Christmas gift, and it sucks that it took so long to get this because this thing is a lifesaver. Unfortunately, I do not have a bench or a vise to bench bleed this, or the new one when I put the fluid in. So we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. It will work, it just takes a little bit more effort and time. My favorite part is getting this old fluid out of here so we can take this thing off. So I will literally just use a syringe to get all this out. I know some people have turkey basters and other basters and stuff like that, but this will work just fine. But whatever you have to get the fluid out, if you have something specialized for that, then so be it. But I'm just gonna use the syringe. Here's what the fluid looks like. It's very dark, like a Coca-Cola kind of thing. Once again, this is probably factory fluid, so definitely gonna get that replaced. I think this is supposed to be clear. Also, the color might look a little funky, but that's because there was a little bit of power steering fluid at the bottom of this bottle here, so it did mix in a little bit, so it might have a green tint to it. We have our reservoir mostly empty. You can kind of see in there. These cracks, I think, were kind of breaking through, so there was probably a bit of a leak. I can't really tell. I think I'll be able to tell once I get this thing off. Now we just have to disconnect this sensor here, and then there's these two screws down here. I believe there's two bolts that connect this to this piece back here. So we're almost there. Extremely good news. I just found out that I could just take off the reservoir without removing this part. So if I can just take that off, pop a new one on, this will be like done in 10 minutes. Just need to remove, where are they? There's two pins, one right here, and the other one is hiding there. I assume you'd be able to twist those out with like some pliers or something like that. I do have a hammer here just in case, so I'm gonna try to either pull them out or tap them out. We'll see which one works best. All right, so we got the reservoir off. That honestly might have been more of a pain in the ass than just taking off this whole system here, but we got it off. So this rod, where that hole is, came out pretty easy. The one back here, where that hole is, that rod actually kind of split in two while it was getting hammered out, and it actually flew underneath this plastic bit here, so I'm gonna have to dig that out later. But we did get it off. We're gonna just slap a new one on and fill it up with some fluid. I am glad that I found this method though, because I did not want to have to try and get rid of air inside of this thing with the pump and the brakes and all that. This does seem easier if that rod doesn't split on you. There is still a bit of fluid left in this part here, but I think I'm just going to leave that. We're gonna fill this with new fluid anyway, and we're just gonna bleed the system. You should just be able to pop this thing right onto here, like so. Make sure that's nice and snug. And once that's on, you'll just pop back in those rods that you took out. These little things here. Also, you see I have a bunch of space here. I actually had to remove the washer fluid reservoir, and I just set it on this chair right here so it's not dangling. And obviously you're gonna see some fluid and stuff come out, but that's okay. Now let's put those rods back in. All right, we got this thing on and secure. So now what's left is to put this reservoir back on to this here, plug up everything, and fill this up with fluid. For the sake of this video, I have a small bottle and a much larger bottle of brake fluid. This is the .3, recommended for C5 Corvettes. For the sake of the video, I'm just gonna fill this up in here. It's not gonna be the whole bottle, but it's just gonna be just enough, I think. And you will have to bleed the brakes after so you get all the new fluid going through the system. Okay, scratch that. So this reservoir did actually use up all of this fluid here. The bigger bottle will be for the full system bleed that we do in the next video probably. And so we put our cap back on, and we will have a successful brake master cylinder replacement. Much easier than I thought it was gonna be. Again, if I knew that you could just remove the reservoir itself and not need this piece here, I would have just done that. I would have just bought the reservoir, but I don't think I was able to find just the reservoir itself. So this is the old one, of course. It's probably gonna leak fluid. Yeah, it's okay. But you can see these cracks here. It's real bad. I'm sure there was a leak, some sort of leak, but we got that resolved. I spilled fluid there and all underneath the car. That is a mixture of wiper fluid and old brake fluid. So I will need to clean that up. I'm sure some got spilled in here too, yeah, see? So I'll try to clean it up as best I can once I get the car out of the garage, but that will have to wait until we finish up our other projects. So I'm gonna let this hood down so that light over there rests. And I think we can call it a night. That is the master cylinder replacement. Thank the Lord we were able to get that done in a timely manner. Much easier than trying to bleed this system here and make sure no air gets in that. That seemed like a pain in the ass if you're not able to bench bleed. So sometime later this week, I will go ahead and bleed all 4 sides of this so we can get new brake fluid through the entire system, and we'll be good to go.